Charlie, I know when we spoke post-match, you were pretty gutted that you couldn't get that fairy tale win, but was it a positive that you had the Somerset Premier Cup to prepare for and keep that positive vibe going? There were a lot of first teamers involved and, of course, a chance for you to see the young players as well.
Yeah, I thought it was a really positive evening. I thought the boys performed really well. The ones who have been involved a lot with the first team lately had a great attitude to it. The young lads who come in, I thought, performed superb. And it was a great win. It was a good evening, and it's all part of just keeping the unbeaten run going.
Yeah, of course. And, of course, Josh Nerfield was able to get a start. We spoke about that post-match as well. That must have done his fitness a lot of good.
Yeah, he's looking like he's firing now. He's fit and ready to be involved when needed. So he was really good the other night. To be honest, I didn't really want to take him off because he was, but obviously you have to manage his minutes, and I'm glad I did because the youngsters who come on just did exceptional as well. And it was as I say, a really positive evening.
And of course, as you say, you made a lot of changes, but to keep that sort of unbeaten run going, it's good for the mentality of the players, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. It's just as I said, you've got to have that winning mentality to whatever you do, whether it's every day in training, in your five-a-sides, and if you want to become a winner, you've got to win at everything you do, and that's just one of them things. And we had the whole squad there. Every single player was there watching or being a part of it Tuesday night. It was a great atmosphere around the place, and to all the fans that come, it was brilliant. I'm glad that everyone had a good evening.
Yeah, and speaking about the fans, they're really behind you. They were certainly behind you on Saturday. They've made their feelings clear about their views of the off-field situation, but they're certainly behind you on the field. Do you have sort of a message for them for the rest of the season?
No, just keep doing that for us. What they did at the weekend was amazing, and the fans who turned up on Tuesday night, it's been a brilliant week because of them and what they've done, what they've brought to the club. And if they just keep supporting, as I say, the players will do their job to the best of their ability every game.
And how are you able to sort of block out that outside noise? Because you seem to have kept that camaraderie going since Darren left.
Yeah, well, that's what I think. You've got to be professional. You've got to get ready for the game. And for me, it's really easy. There's so much that I've got to do at the minute. I can't worry about anything else. So, and then the players, they've got to do their job. It doesn't matter what's going on around the place or at home. You've got to do your job when you're ready to do it.
And in terms of personnel, we saw Max Hunt travelled, as did Josh Staunton, Grant Smith. Is there an update on those injuries?
Yeah, so I would say Grant is as he's there. I'd say he's fit. I'm classing him as fit now, and it's good to have him back. Obviously, Ted's doing really well, so that's just a problem that it's good to have. It's a good problem. Hunty and Robbo are very close. I'd be surprised if they're not training fully with the team next week. And the only other one was Fella coming off on Tuesday with a little sore groin. So we'll see how it is today. But I don't think it's too serious. As for the weekend, we're not too sure. But we'll hopefully he'll be fine.
And of course, next up is Kings Lynn. They had an excellent result in midweek. They're fighting for their lives. But they're really putting up a fight. It's not going to be an easy game, is it?
No, they're one of the most informed teams in the league, I think. I think they've had some really good last 5 games and beaten some really good teams. And as you know, playing teams that are fighting for survival is not easy, and it's going to be a really tough game. But the boys know that they're ready for the challenge, and most people would say that we're the team that you would like to play. The ones that are in mid-table, but we're going to make it really hard for them on Saturday. We're not going to be. We've got to give it to every team we play now the best of our ability.
And it was a real struggle to score for a number of games, but that sort of 4 in a row, getting more than 1 goal, you're going to want to continue that, aren't you? Because firing is so important in this league.
Yeah, we definitely set up to be a bit more attacking on Saturday. It's Barnet we wanted to, but in the same problem, you got to keep the goals out. So we scored 2, but then we've managed to concede 2. So you've got to have the balance, and you've got to try and score more goals than the other team. It's nice and simple, Shannon. So let's try and do that on Saturday.
Of course, and so you think you might have to make a few changes for that trip?
It's good to have the squad now. There's definitely players who are fighting for a place on Saturday, and listen, we'll see how it goes through in the next 2 days in training. But it's not whereas 3 games ago the team sort of picked itself. There wasn't many. There was people on the bench with injuries. Now we've got a few more people fit and fighting for a place. So we'll wait and see what happens Saturday.
And on a personal level, a couple of weeks in now, you're getting used to the fact that you're the manager.
Oh yeah, it's easy now, isn't it? No, not quite. It's still been a very strange couple of weeks, and but I'm loving it. It's just a great opportunity, and as I've said many a times, the players have been unbelievable with me since I've taken over, and yeah, we'll be ready.
Good luck on Saturday, Charlie.
Thank you very much.
Charlie, fans singing your name up at Barnet, that must be very satisfying from a point of view of, it's your first game in charge, and you didn't get the win, but you got the draw, so must make you feel good, I should think.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you're a player or whatever you're doing, to have that was a very humbling experience. I was very, very proud and very thankful for them for doing it. They didn't have to support me in that way, and just to hear it was hard to concentrate sometimes when they were singing it so loud. But a day that I will remember.
Absolutely, and but for a few sort of dodgy decisions on some fouls in the game, I mean, it could well be that you could have quite easily won the game.
Yes, we definitely got the raw end of a couple of decisions, but that happens. We was a bit disappointed with the goals, not gonna lie. There was a lot of positives from the weekend, but we still have to do the right thing. We've looked back and we've talked through them goals, and we'll have to come out and fix them on Saturday.
But on the other side of the coin, I mean, the 2 goals that Yeovil did score, I mean, Tom Knowles' goal was exciting to watch, to say the least, and to see him lash it into the net at the end of the run was great. And then totally different goal for Robin. It was just a little flick in sort of thing. But I mean, he was there, and he seems to be on fire at the moment. So 2 players scoring goals like that must bode well for the future.
Yeah, so they've been very good in the last 4 games. They've been very strong. Nosey, you've got to embrace these purple patches you get. He looks unplayable at times, so he's just got to keep doing it, and we've got to keep the consistency going till the end of the season. And for long spells of the game against Barnet, we looked a real threat, and then the last 15 minutes it was attack v defence, and on another day we could have definitely stolen a couple of goals late on there and come away with a win.
But you got your first win on Tuesday night, and good little bit of goal scoring practice, 5 of them anyway.
Yeah, as I said, it was all about the attitude on Tuesday. We played a very strong team, and rightly so. That they all performed to the highest standard. Really, there was some experienced players who have played league football, and they were all up for the challenge and gave it everything. And I think we deserved that 5-0 win.
2 goals for both Yusuf and Josh. That's encouraging. I mean, that gives you so much more choice, really, I suppose, for the first team on Saturday, when you've got 2 players scoring like Ruben and Tom Knowles, and then 2 players coming in on a game like that and both getting 2 goals. Yeah,
there's plenty of games left at the end of the season. There's going to be minutes for a lot of players, so having people firing makes it a lot easier. And we'll be focusing on the game Saturday, but we do know that we've got 2 games over the weekend, the next weekend after, so there's going to have to be a lot of minutes for a lot of players, so it's good to have them all firing.
And do you feel comfortable in the role now? I mean, I know it's only 2 games, but I mean, you seem to have sort of settled in fairly well.
Yeah, well, that's credit to everyone at the club. Everyone's made me feel comfortable. Obviously, I was very optimistic, and I knew that I would be able to do the stuff on the training pitch. Comes very comfortable to me, and I was really happy to be picking teams. But everything else that comes with it is a credit to all the people around the club to make me feel so comfortable, and they've all gave me the utmost respect since I started.
Well, best of luck on Saturday. Long trip, I know, but hopefully you can come back with the bacon.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hey, Charlie, you okay?
Yeah, very well. You?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Alex Bradley was given the captaincy, wasn't he, on Tuesday? He's been in and out of the team a bit this season, but what sort of confidence does that give him as a player?
Yeah, I thought he was exceptional. I thought he played like a leader the other day. He got a tackle in the 10th minute that was... It was a shocker, really. It was a red card, and the referee missed it. No problem with that. And he was struggling for a lot of that game. It was an impact injury, so we're not worried about it for long term. But he was sore, but he carried on. He could have easily come off in that game. He did the proper captain's role, and for a Tuesday night, for him to show that sort of respect to the club and the competition, it just shows you where all the players are at the minute. And I was very proud of Alex on it the other night, and with a lot of the other players also.
Obviously, you mentioned it, but on the weekend, you're able to bounce off Josh Thornton on the sidelines. How good is that to have him by your side in your first game?
Yeah, he was excellent. Some of the things he said, he didn't know what he's talking about, but it was just nice to have him there to bounce off. So I asked him, and then I was always going to make that decision. Nah, as I'm only joking. They are the players, especially the experienced boys, have been a dream for me, and they're going to have to be till the end of the season. So they've got to step up and help whenever they're needed. And as I say, they're all up for it.
Obviously, it's an extremely busy job, kind of being on your own. Have you had any chance to get any help from elsewhere? Or is it just going to be what's in the club?
No, we've got everyone is willing to do a job and a half, and that's been like that since the 3 years I've been here as a player. Listen, if you want to be successful, you've got to do a job and a half. So that's what we're going to ask people to do, and hopefully they'll get us through nicely to the end of the season.
Good luck for the weekend, Charlie.
Thank you very much.
Hey Charlie, you right?
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good, thanks. I wanted to call you on something you said pre-Barnet, actually, that you said you didn't know how much time you would have to get your message into the players. You've had a little bit more time now. Are you starting to see Charlie Lee impact on the pitch, on the training pitch?
I would say, yeah, with the stuff off the pitch, they know what I'm about as a person, as a player. They know what I expected as a player when I played here, and they'll expect it as me as a manager. But the things that I really look for, they've got an abundance. Listen, there's two things: you have to work hard and you have to care, and I've got a group that do that every day. So the other little things that has to be worked upon over time, and I'll do my best to make sure we're prepared and we know the opponents every weekend. And where the fundamentals, this group's got it in abundance, so they will have to just keep doing that week in, week out.
That Barnet game also represents, I think, just the third point that we've got from a losing position this entire season. This team just doesn't know when to throw the towel in, does it?
No, they don't. And listen, you can't throw the towel in. If you want to be successful in your career, there's plenty of young players in this team, and they're going to learn a lot from this spell of football till the end of the season. So yeah, if you're a player who throws the towel in, your career will fizzle out and end very quickly. That's why we see so many people, especially at this level, who are maybe in the twilight of their career, but they're still having such a great effect on the teams they play for because they're born winners. And I've said that this is a great chance for some of these young lads to learn what it takes to be a winner.
Was that backed up further still by Ruben Reid after the game, setting the standards even higher still? It was a positive performance, a positive result, and yet he was saying after the game that actually there were periods where we need to be better, we need to do more things and be better. He's still setting the standards even higher. Are they still really motivated to continue these last 8, 9, 10 games, whatever it is, and try and win them all?
100%. Listen, at half-time we went in, we wasn't very happy. I wasn't very happy at half-time. I thought we started unbelievably well against Barnet and we looked like no one was going to stop us. And then we sort of slowly fizzled out through the rest of the first half. So it wasn't just me that wasn't very happy, it was the players as well. And I think Ruben's interview, as he always is honest. Although it was quite funny, trying to work out what to call me, which I'm not going to help him with. He's just going to have to work it out himself. And but yeah, that they're going to be driving the players on because nobody wants to just is not going to be happy losing games at the end of the season. We're not going to accept losses and move on. We're going to deal with them, and not being happy with a point just shows you where they're at.
Does this Saturday present you with your first real proper managerial headache Ruben's in form, Knowlesy's in form. We know what Charlie Wakefield can do. Neufeld, Olamola, Yusuf have all got goals in them. They've all got a lot of options going forward. How are you going to narrow it down to 2, 3, or 4?
Well, that's something that we're going to have to decide between us. And there's players who've played a lot of games that are, if they're starting to look a little bit tired, they will have to sit out and let the boys that are firing and ready to come in and play. So there is going to be rotation in the next few games, just because there's going to be a real short break between the next two after this. But focusing on Saturday now, we're gonna get the team sorted, and that they'll know before the game and ready to go.
Quick word about Tuesday night. Of the youngsters that played, did any of them really stand out for you? Good to see a goal for young Corey Andrews.
I thought they all did. I thought it surprised me. And to be fair, two of them have played regular football in leagues above or down, so I expect it from them. But listen, the two boys that started, I thought they did exceptional. And then the three that come on all had a real positive effect. And when you see one of the youngsters, Corey, score, you just know he's never going to forget it. And the older boys couldn't wait to celebrate with him. And that just shows you where we're at as a club.
Looking ahead then to Kings Lynn, one familiar face, Goldo Mateo, will be up in their strike force. They've got a pretty decent little home record going at the moment. They are not giving in down at the bottom of the table. I get the feeling it's going to be quite a scrappy game. Are you expecting it to be a bit feisty, a bit bitty, or are you expecting your guys to go and try and be as open as you can be?
It's going to be a tough game. We know that. Very few games in this league are easy. But when you start getting to the end of the season, sometimes you have teams who don't throw in the towel but make it a little bit easier for you to play against them. I can guarantee that these are not going to do that. I know plenty of players who play there, and they've all got great attitudes to wanting to win games, and they're on a good run, and I can tell you they believe that they're going to stay up. So we've got to go there and be professional and do our best to not give them any points. That's our job for till the end of the season. And we know what we're expecting from these, and it's not going to be an easy game.
Finally, for me then, Adi Yusuf is currently observing the holy month of Ramadan, which can have quite an effect on athletes at all levels. Have we had to make any special arrangements to help him with his fasting from a practical or from a health and fitness point of view?
He will get all the help that we can possibly give him. He is one that very rarely he won't ask for any help. We will offer it. To the game the other day, he had it already planned himself when he was allowed to take on fluid, and he's very prepared for it. And he does not want it to be. He doesn't want it to become a problem for him. He knows what he needs to do day in, day out, and any help that we can give him, we will do the utmost for him. And all the players that are currently doing it, it's fair play to them. It's a tough ask, but Addy's really up for the job of being there for us.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Go well on Saturday.
No worries.